probably man that's got the same move with every club. I'm the only golfer with the feeling of greatness. I'm the only golfer living that's got the master move and the feeling of greatness.
Hey, it's Todd Graves with the Feeling of Greatness podcast. I'm excited to be with you today to talk about 2 or 3 subjects that I have had on my mind that have, some of it's come from the students, on my YouTube channel. I'm talking to people on the YouTube channel when I present videos. I have a lot of things that I've been going through the last year with my fitness and my health. And we got fall coming up. We got kind of the off season, even though a lot of you probably don't want to regard it as the off season. I don't really regard it as the off season. Matter of fact, there's times when I play more golf and I get more into the game in the so-called off season than I do during the season. So there is no off season really for me, but it tends to get cold outside and we maybe have less opportunity to go outside. So we kind of consider it the off season, but there's a lot that I want to talk about, because first thing is just motivation level. I think that, I know I go through these periods of my life where I'm super motivated and I get these ideas and things that I want to practice or improve about my life. Could be my golf game, could be my physical health, could be something at my business. And I get really motivated and I like that. I go through those things, and maybe it's like taking inventory of where I am in my life, all the relationship things and elements of my life and all the things that I look at and say, okay, that needs improvement and that doesn't, whatever. So there's that motivation level that I think we have to be looking at all the time. What's motivating us? What's keeping us from being motivated? That's one thing. The other thing is really making sure that there's a consistent pattern developing to take care of my health. And that's one thing I've focused on for the last basically year and a half, almost 2 years now. And I'll tell you where that kind of evolved. It's a number of factors that got me to this point. It's funny because, when you're in my world, you see yourself on video all the time. And so I will be, I can't help but see myself and judge myself every time I look at that video screen. And I had just played a round at Oak Tree National. We shot the round. I was playing some holes, and my dad, who passed away a few years ago, used to really tell me, my dad was very ill. He couldn't leave the house very much. So one of the things I like to do is I'd like to go to the golf course, shoot a round of golf, or I'd play golf, and then my dad would watch it. And he'd watch me play the golf course. And a lot of those rounds, if you watch them on my YouTube channel, I'm not talking directly to my dad, but I'm kind of talking to my dad because he's not out there playing with me. And I wanted to just kind of show him around the golf course, hit some shots. And he used to call me and say, I really like watching you play today, or whatever. So I used to do that for my father. Well, I walked in one time to see my dad. It was about 3 months before he passed away. And he looked at me and he goes, "What's up with that?" And he points at my belly. And so I had this gut. And so I'm like, "What?" He goes like, "What? You got to get rid of that." So my dad was making fun of me a little bit. And that was kind of a motivating factor. I'm like, yeah, I'm gaining some weight, Dad. I'm getting older, right? No excuses, Todd. No excuses. So my dad was giving me a hard time. So my dad had that one last hurrah for me to figure that out. That was a little motivating factor. But the other thing was just not feeling well. It was just getting to the point where I was gaining weight. And I swear, and to this day, I'll tell you, I was eating pretty well. I was trying to do the right things. I was on the treadmill once in a while. I was exercising. I like to lift weights. I was lifting. I just couldn't lose the weight. I was getting very frustrated. It was about 1.5 years of that. And then my dad pointing it out to me saying, got to do something about this. That was really the motivation factor for me to say, I've got to take this seriously. Talk to my wife about it. She was also kind of in the same boat. We'd both gained some weight. Don't know why. Was it COVID? Was it the, our habits in COVID? I don't really know. I can't really pinpoint what caused the weight gain. But I said, it's time to take this seriously. So I went down to a doctor who specialized in hormone therapy and started really looking at regulating my nutrition in my blood and saying, hey, you got some healthy elements that are going on here. There's certain things that we need to regulate in your nutrition and your blood sugar levels and all these things. So it was really a chemistry thing. You know me, I'm I'm a technical scientist guy. I like to look at that stuff, but I want to know the reasons I'm doing stuff, and I want to be smart about it. And I want to be intelligent about it. So I got smart about it, and I started doing the right things, really monitoring my blood, the things I was eating, the things I was putting into my body. That's where it started. And so I got regulated. And the second thing I did was I had a couple thoughts, and I've expressed these to some people, whether they're medically sound or not. I'm not giving you medical advice here, but I thought to myself, look, if foods are a big problem, then, and I'm hungry, is it better to eat bad food or not eat at all? That was my thought process. Like, if you're poisoning your body with bad food just because you're hungry, what if you just starved yourself instead once in a while? I'm not saying do it for months. I'm just saying in that moment. For example, I'm hungry, driving down the road. I'm going to pull over and grab a cheeseburger at McDonald's because I'm so hungry. Or no, I'm just going to be hungry. And I might be hungry for 4 or 5 hours, but that's okay, right? And I realized that it's okay to be hungry. I just realized that just because you're hungry doesn't mean you have to feed yourself. Then I realized that, man, sometimes I feel really good when I haven't eaten. I started feeling better when I would go into a fasting mode. I started fasting and feeling better. Now, there's probably science behind that. I mean, I've looked into some of that. I did find that when I would go into 2-day fasts, and remember, I'm hydrating myself, and I'm still getting vitamins and minerals, and the doctor's prescribing the things I need to get in my blood system. I'm feeling better by not eating. That was an indication to me that the foods were actually damaging me more than the foods were helping me. That's a big start to this. So even today, to this day, I'm a 1 meal a day person. I eat as many high nutrition, high protein meals as I can. So that's where I've kind of landed on the meal thing. I will not count calories. I'm just not going to do that. To me, I can't waste my life worrying about how many calories I put in my body. I'm just going to eat good foods that I put in my body. That's number one. Number two is I'm not going to sit on a treadmill. I did that for a number of years of my life. And yeah, I lost a little weight, but I just don't want to spend my time running like a hamster on a treadmill. So those are my two rules for me. I'm not going to sit on a treadmill. I'm not going to count calories. And I know your trainers are probably like, okay, we got to get you doing some cardio and stuff. So here's what I did. I started lifting weights. But not just lifting weights. I started getting serious about lifting weights. I started, really, really doing it with great technique. I hired the right people to show me how to do things. I got very consistent about it. I started understanding the technique of lifting weights and the benefit from it. I'm not going to say I'm great at everything that I do in the weight room, but I'm very, very consistent. I work out. I do some sort of fitness level resistance training every single day, whether it's the leg day, which will knock me out and make me really sore the next day, or the just maintenance, do my shoulder work and my back work for the morning. But I'm in there every day. I do things like hanging, which are good for my shoulders. I don't know if you hang from the bar. There's certain things, carries of heavy weights to work on my total body strength. Anyway, I got a routine that I developed that has really, from an overall fitness level, helped me from a strength and conditioning standpoint. So that's really what I did. I basically figured out the chemistry of my body, had doctors and experts help me with that, adjusted that. I do physical lifting of weights basically every day. Maybe one day a week I'll take off, but I still will go in the gym and piddle around because I like the routine of being in the gym. I like the atmosphere. And then watch what I eat from a fasting, what I'm putting in my body perspective. Moderate junk food, high protein, healthy foods most of the time, and then really watch when I eat. The fasting thing has probably been the most effective thing for me. That is my basic principle of how I've been able to go from 187 pounds to 152 pounds, from 24% body fat to 7.2% body fat in the last year and a half. That's what I've done. Now, I have not done a treadmill at all. I've not been on a treadmill one time to work on cardio. Haven't done it. I'll get enough physical exercise and cardio work from the weights that I lift, the intensity, and I'll do that once or twice a week. I'll do some intensity stuff that will work my heart rate. So I'm not getting work on my heart. But anyway, for those of you that were asked that, because I basically every day on my YouTube channel, somebody brings up how much better I look and more in shape. That's really my formula for that. And again, I'm not an expert at it. I just found my system that works for me right now. That's really working. I'm considering taking it to the next level, which will just be more weights and more training because I really enjoy that part of it. So that's been my motivation there, and that will continue. I'm excited about that. And then I think the other thing that's worthy to discuss is the thing that I'm excited about this fall that I'm going to be working on. And I've talked to some of the guys on my team about updating the 4D system, which when I say update, we're just going to add some elements to it, maybe a transition program inside. But let me explain the 4D system really quickly because it has a lot to do with physical training. It kind of brings in the biomechanics of the golf swing into how we can practice this fall. If somebody said to me right now, Todd, what is the absolute best way to practice the golf swing perfectly? What would you do? The first thing that I would do, I'm going to run you through my ideal scenario for a person that has 2 or 3 months, maybe 4 months, and they really want to just improve themselves from a improvements perspective, not only in their golf swing, but their physical abilities. The very first thing I'd build is the foundation of single plane 30. I would give them, I wouldn't do the 40 system yet. I would give them the foundation of single plane 30. Why is this? Because I want them to understand that there's a formulatic approach to learning the swing. I want them to understand why the progressive formula is put together the way it is and how that affects their development of their swing, how it helps them build the model from the beginning until the finish. That, to me, is a fundamental principle because that's the principle you're going to use forever. That's why I'd want them to learn single plane 30 first, because that for the rest of your golf life, that is your way of learning, developing, practicing, and fixing anything in your swing is right there in that formula. If you don't have that background, then the 40 thing won't make as much sense. Single plane 30, that program is built based on the 4D system, which is biofeedback. So that's the first thing I would do is single plane 30, understand it, train it, practice it, develop that out so you have that as your background. The second thing I would do is I would have a 4D system available because the 4D system is really getting biofeedback on the training that you're doing in single plane 30. So it's now, but if you don't understand what biofeedback is basically connecting this, we call it the holy grail of learning. The holy grail of learning is this. If I make a mistake, you can instantly fix it. So think about it right now. You go to the range and you're practicing on the range and you make a bad swing. Well, you don't really know why, because again, we teach and you should be learning from a causal perspective. We teach from a causal perspective. Causal perspective means what caused the problem. The ball went left. What caused the ball to go left? Not the club face. What caused the club face to be closed, that the ball goes left? We got to get to the root cause of it, right? That's what we're doing here. That's what single plane 30 does. That's what biofeedback training does. So from a causal perspective, if you're on the range and you hit a bad shot and the ball goes not where you want it to go, for you to find the cause of it and then fix that cause takes time. Now, it might take you looking at a camera, might take me as your coach back there going, yep, you did this or did that. But there's this time thing that happens. So by the time you get up there and you reorganize yourself and you make another motion with an attempt to correct it, that time, that window of time from the time you made the mistake to the time you correct it is too long. Now, when you do that repetitively, you can beat the time barrier and you can really make improvements. That's what I did. I did it with video. I just get feedback, make changes. It takes time. That's why people say, how long does it take to get this? 2 years, 3 years. Why? Because you're not able to program the brain in a fast enough way when you make a mistake. It takes too long to figure out the problem. It takes too long to fix the cause. And sometimes you fix the wrong thing. That's the real problem. Okay, so that's the holy grail of practice and training is when you make a mistake, you instantly correct. So why is that the holy grail? Because your brain then can have a feedback to a loop that says wrong, correct. So there's nothing wrong with doing it incorrectly, but you can immediately correct it. So now you have a reference loop. You have the wrong and the correct. And so now you're in this loop of correct, wrong, correct, wrong, correct, got it. And so you're giving your brain biofeedback. And so now you're connecting the brain, the neurological network in your brain to your corrections, and now you're programming. And so this is what biofeedback is. It's this direct connection of your brain to your body that where there's no lapses and you're able to do it immediately. And now by getting this direct biofeedback is what we're talking about here, is I can correct myself instantaneously. That is the holy grail of learning. That's what 4D system's all about. That's what biofeedback is all about. So now think about this system. You have sensors on your body. You're standing in front of an iPad screen because now we're iOS based, and you're able to instantly get feedback on whether you're doing it right or wrong. So you don't even have to know the cause. See, that's the thing. You don't have to go decipher the cause. You don't have to have a coach in front of you telling you what you did. The machine is showing you, change this, and you fix it. It's telling you exactly what to fix. And so now you don't even need to know the cause. You just need to make adjustments and keep inside that loop of biofeedback. Think how powerful that is. That's why the biofeedback systems that we've built are the most powerful way to learn. There is no more powerful way to date other than maybe in the future we'll put a chip in your brain that we can hook up to some device. But currently, this is the closest thing to wiring you to fix you to a swing. It's a coach right there in front of you, fixing you instantaneously every single time. Super powerful. So for me, what I will do this fall as I continue my journey into wellness and fitness and getting stronger and taking that to new levels, I'm super motivated to get back into the 4D and really start training 4D. I want to strengthen my swing. I want to build more repetition in some of the parts of my swing. And look, you can't do it enough. I want to keep getting better and better and better, more efficient, more powerful. I want to be more consistent, all those things that everybody wants, but that's what the 4D system will allow me to do. And I'm looking forward to jumping back in there. And so whenever I do that, I'm sure I'll develop a few more things in the program. Like we'll work on a transition element in the program. I'll probably build some more training modules in there, some specialty stuff based on the intelligent golf swing in the book. We'll probably put some intelligent golf training in there. So I am going to dive back into the 4D as we get into this fall, probably sometime mid to late September. And I'm sure we'll have it all the way through October, November. Because when it gets cold out, nothing more powerful than getting into biofeedback training. That's really where I'm headed for this fall. And I'm motivated to do it. I'm so excited about things that are going on. Let me see what else here at Graves Golf. Obviously, the Performance Center is fantastic. We've got this thing running like clockwork out there. The golf course is in fantastic shape. We'll get into the fall. The greens will stay good. The grass will dormant. But we're going to oversee the tee boxes, so we'll have some green spots out there. I'll be hitting balls when the good weather out there, so it won't be cold all the time. So we'll hit some balls. We got indoor-outdoor training when we want to practice as well. And then, one of the things that I think I should mention before I wrap up here is Single Plane University. I think we have developed, and this has been a big project for Graves Golf, is the university inside Single Plane Academy called Single Plane University. Let me just quickly run you through Single Plane University because all of you are going to want to get inside Single Plane University. If you loved Single Plane 30, which was our progressive training 30-day coached program where it progressives you every week into the element of learning the single plane swing, people realize very quickly about Single Plane 30 that it's the most powerful program we've ever put out there to learn the single plane swing. Well, now take that formula, that class structure, like a university class where you're getting training modules every single day, where you're being accountable to the training every single day. take that to the next level to chipping, and take it to putting, and take it to course management, take it to the driver. So think about all the aspects of the game, and now progressively and perfectly training inside a university class that's coached with coaches helping you through it, daily accountability, every part of your game. Now, I know you can't take all these classes in 1 month. Who would want to? It's too much, right? So the university is designed where you can pick your class. Okay, you want to become a better driver of the golf ball? We're going to put you in the driver class this next month. You're going to become a great driver of the golf ball in the next 30 days. Let's say you're having some struggles with your chipping. You're in the chipping. We're going to go through the 30-day chipping class. You're going to learn chipping inside Single Point University. We're going to coach you through 30 days of chipping instruction. So now every part of the game, we can approach you, and now you're in the university. It's coached, it's supported, it's accountable. It's like Single Point 30. It's progressing you through developing your game. Basically, all year long, you can be developing your game and working on every aspect. It's a pure university, nothing like it in the universe of golf. This is the greatest thing that we've been able to develop for all of you who really want to become better at golf and do it in the right way. It's not random. It's not looking at YouTube and finding something, some tip. This is pure golf improvement training inside Single Point University. So I had to mention that because that we're going to develop a few more university courses. I think there's 6 classes in there right now, but each month we're going to develop a new course, and you can now join the university, and it's not very expensive. So if you want to learn more about that, make sure you get a hold of us here at Graves Golf, and we will help you get inside the university and be a part of that, because you'll love it. And it's a way that you can start thinking about your next year going into this fall and into next year, you can basically set up a schedule and say, next year is all about making myself a really, really great golfer. And you can do it with Single Point University. So that's what I got for you. Lots going on at Graves Golf. I'm excited about this fall. Can't wait to get into everything. Thanks for joining me again on the Feeling Greatness podcast, and I'll see you soon.